There is a secret to niching down for your business, and we're going to be talking about it today. So, welcome. My name is Michelle Gifford. I'm a brand marketing strategist, and I am the host of Business Mom School, where I teach business moms how to grow and run their businesses. So, when I first start talking about growing a business, we always start with niching down or niching down, if you want to say it that way. And the problem that usually comes up is people are a little bit scared to niche down. They're not sure how they should do it and they don't know why they should do it. And actually, niching down feels a little bit scary because it seems easier to talk to everyone at once, right? We don't want to exclude anyone or keep anyone out. So we want to talk to everyone. Well, niching down is the first step. It's what I do with all of my clients. And the reason why we do this is because it will grow your business better and faster. So in this video, we're going to walk you through why niching is so important, how to do it, and I'm going to share with you my secret that most people skip over when they're talking about niching it down and making sure that your niche is a success. So before I get to the step-by-step, I want to make sure that you understand why niching down is so important. The reason why niching down is always the first step is because it is the fastest way for you to grow your business, because you need to help people understand who you are and make it easy for them to talk about you. Let's say I talked about everything. I talked about weather, I talked about news, I talked about business, I talked about fashion and accessories, that it would be hard to talk about me, to tell a friend why they need me. But when I niche down to, hey, I help business moms grow their businesses online, that's a very specific niche, right? Women in business who have kids who are growing a business alongside of motherhood. That makes it very easy for anyone to understand exactly who needs my content. And if we just talk to everyone, then it's going to take a long time for us to grow. And that is the other reason why we need to do it, is when we niche down, it helps us be really laser focused. People can talk about us. And it also helps with SEO and the algorithm. Social media is becoming more and more searchable. Instagram's becoming more searchable. TikTok's super searchable. And it has more searches than Google last year. Google searchable, blog searchable, YouTube, podcasts are getting better. All of these places are searchable. And because of that, if we create a ton of content that is about a ton of different topics, then it makes it hard for that search engine to understand what kind of content we create and who to put our content in front of. But if we niche down and really focus on one type of content, then the algorithm and the search engine can get to know who we are and the type of people who like our content, and they'll put our content more in front of it. This is important on Instagram. You can probably notice that they're putting more content of people that you don't follow in your feed. And that's because it's getting better at this whole searchable thing. And niching down will really help improve your Instagram and the way that you show up there. The other reason this is important is because it's going to make it easier for you to create content. When you have the option to create content about everything and anything under the sun, it's very stifling. But if you can find out exactly what your niche is and start speaking to them, then what happens is you're like, oh, I know all their problems, because I get that. And I could talk about this all day. That gives you a lot of power when you're creating content. The next one is, this is more profitable. When people specialize in one specific topic, they get a lot more expertise and a lot more authority because they are creating content about one specific thing. And so people know exactly what they're good at and who to call when they need them. So niching down is really going to help you grow faster because of the algorithm, because it's easier to talk about, because you're creating great content, and it'll be easier to make money because of all of that. And one of the biggest things people talk to me about is that they don't want to just talk about one thing. And I totally understand that. But what I would recommend is, if you can niche down at the beginning, get really honed in. There's a principle in business called the Sheehan's Wall principle. And it's just that if you talk about one topic until you become the expert and people know you and know to come to you, then you can start talking about whatever you want. So how do we do it? It's actually easier than you think. So the first step is to choose your industry. So think about this. Are you in the beauty? Are you in the health? Are you in the business? So figure out, what is your industry? And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go a lot deeper. When I am helping people with their brand messaging, I always go to the 4 Ps. Number 1, who is the person? Who is a specific person? Let's say that you do beauty. Now, what kind of person do you help in that industry? Do you help women over 40? Cool. Okay, great. That is a great niche. Okay, so then you have the person. What is their problem? Who want to go gray naturally, like just want to just go gray, do their hair gray. Cool. Okay. So that is the problem that they have, is they don't know how to go gray. And what is the product that you have to solve that problem? I give them tips and tricks to looking young while having gray hair. What is the promise of transformation? How are you going to help this woman over 40 with naturally gray hair feel confident in that gray hair? You're going to give her styling tips and products and how-tos so that she can be confident. So now you have like a very, very, very specific niche, right? And I always like to have that product in there. A lot of people don't talk about the product, but the product is how you make money. I usually have a free product and also a paid product. So the free product is the content that you create, right? Whether you're a podcast, a YouTube, or whatever. And then what is that product that they would need to buy to get you paid? So whether that's a course, maybe that's a coaching session, maybe that's a service, maybe that's just affiliate links, those kind of things. So now you understand like what your niche is, right? Because you know the industry, you're in the beauty industry, and who is the person? Woman over 40. What's the problem? She has great hair, but she doesn't know what to do about it. She wants to still feel young. And what is the product that you give her tips and tricks and how-tos to go gray beautifully? And what is the promise of transformation that they're going to feel confident in their gray hair? Okay. So then you have like a very specific niche. So it makes it easy. If I have a friend or if you had a friend who wanted to go gray but didn't dare, then you'd be like, oh my gosh, I know this girl. She is on YouTube and she's always giving you tips and tricks about going gray naturally and beautifully. And here's her stuff, right? That makes it very easy to talk about you. So let's spend a second on the product because usually people don't talk about the product. They just want you to start creating content for that person. But I need you to understand how you creating content is going to help you get paid. So plan that out, figure that out. If you create a YouTube video, how are you going to get people to your email list? Do you understand that and how that email list gets you to the product and getting you paid? So for example, this is a free YouTube video, right? And guess what? If you want to get all of the worksheets for this video, you can click the link below and sign up for the Business Mom School where tuition is free, but you have to do the work. And you will get an email with all of our worksheets and things that we do every week. So that's an email opt-in, right? I know how to solve the problem and how we help people in the future and get people to our products and our services. If you need help with figuring out your niche and your brand message, you can hire my marketing agency and we will help do that for you. The last step is one that a lot of people miss out as well, and this is to do the research. So once you have a niche and you feel really good about it, you know that you can create content around it because you like the content, then you need to do some research. We're going to flip the screen around so that you can see a couple ways that I do research to make sure that the content I'm creating, that there's actually a market for it, because I don't want you to just create content and there not be anyone searching for that content. So we do a couple of things to make sure that our niche is good. Once I share those with you, I'm going to turn it back around and I'm going to share with you what not to do. All right, the first stop that I would make is Tubebuddy. Now, Tubebuddy is an extension. I use this for YouTube to really test out the different topics that I am going to be creating. So you can download it here. It's a very minimal expense every month. It becomes an extension. So you'll see it right up here. Okay, so let's say that I search how to go gray from colored hair. So when I do that, you're going to look and see what content, see that there are people who are creating content. First of all, are there actual creators who are creating content? And are there people who are watching? So you can see this, right? You can see the number of views here. So this is just searching on YouTube. But the cool thing about Tubebuddy is once you search, you're going to see this, and they'll say search volume and competition. So search volume is the number of people searching for it, and competition is the number of people who are creating content. So the good thing about this is there's low competition, but there's a lot that can be searched through that. So I know that, look, overall weight is 82 out of 100. That is a green, means go. I can create content out of that. If you look at the content, one of the cool things that you'll see is how many views there are. So this one has 142,000 views, and they have less than 5,000 subscribers. So you can tell just from that people are searching for it and finding the content. This isn't because she has 1 million subscribers and that's why she has so many views. It's because people are searching for this content and they found it with her. And so that's a really great sign. The other cool thing about Tubebuddy is you can come over here and it's going to give you some keywords or common video tags that go with it. And this will just help you create the content that you want to. All right, the next one I would use is Keywords Everywhere. So Keywords Everywhere is a free extension for Google. And what it does is whenever you type in anything over here, type in anything. So let's do, I'm going to type this in. So you're going to be able to look at these stats. All right. You'll notice that back in 2003 and 5 and 7, there are some big hits. And now it's just kind of pretty stagnant, but there are searches. So that's good to know. If it was a steep curve up, then I would know that it was on the rise. But I can come down here and I can look at the traffic. I can also look at the related keywords and what people are searching for. Lastly, I would go to Pinterest. So lastly, I would come to Pinterest and I'm just going to type in Go Gray Naturally, and I'm going to look and see if there is actually content that's being made here for Pinterest. And the reason why I'm checking this is if there is content here, then I know that there is content being made, and I can check and see what content's doing well and which ones that I could improve upon. But those are my 3 things I would research before I chose a niche. So now you've done your research. Congratulations. That's a big deal. And then last piece of advice of what not to do is not to get stuck. A lot of people get stuck in this niche part because they're afraid to get it wrong. You're not going to get it perfectly right the first time. But the more you create content, the more you serve your audience, the more you start understanding them and what they need. And your niche gets stronger and deeper as you go. So please don't stay stuck on this. I want you to get my worksheets. You can get the link below. And I want you to fill them out and just choose your niche. You can change, you can pivot, you can grow with your audience, but choose a niche and start growing faster and become more profitable. All right, my friend, I'm so glad that you're here at the Business Mom School with Michelle Gifford, where I help business moms grow their business online. I post videos every week, so make sure that you are subscribed below. And if you have any questions, put them below and we'll see you next time.